Well, here we are at the clinic in Melbourne. This is where we conduct our aftercare program and our outpatient program. It's also where the families come for counselling and support. It's here where we do one-to-one counselling after people have been through our residential program, and it's also where we conduct our groups, our support groups for the families, as well as the support groups for outpatients, and the people that have been through our residential program come here as well. We also have regular sort of workshops that deal with drug and alcohol issues in the community. Here at the Raymond Clinic, we are driven by a vision to deliver treatment programs that incorporate the mind, body and spirit. We basically look at treating people holistically. Addiction doesn't just affect you physically, it affects you emotionally, it affects you socially, it affects you psychologically, and it also affects you spiritually. And they're the 5 aspects that we treat here at the Raymond Clinic, and that's what we mean by holistic, and that's what we mean by mind, body and spirit. What we're trying to do here with people is help them actually achieve their full potential. We've found that when people use alcohol or any other substance, they don't perform at their peak. So when people come here for a personalised treatment program, we help them achieve those personal goals. Hi, I'm Richard Smith. I'm the Program Director of the Raymond Clinic Retreat. At the retreat here we have a therapeutic community of recovering addicts. Most of the staff here are people from a using background. The retreat is part of our residential recovery program. Our program is based on a philosophy of self-help, and that is why we have a number of practitioners who are recovering addicts. The natural therapists, some are, some aren't. The support workers are recovering addicts. The senior clinical staff, like myself, have formal qualifications as well as that personal history. The main idea here is to get people to look at themselves and change their behaviour. It's not just about getting drug-free, it's about changing emotionally, socially, psychologically and spiritually. I started my recovery 20 years ago, and in that 20 years I've gone back and studied and got a degree in behavioural science and a postgraduate in social science. I used heroin for 12 years and I used a combination of other substances including alcohol for a total of 17 years. So when you come here, this program has been founded in reality. It's been founded in individuals' recovery. Now, all of the staff here have put into developing this program, as well as the participants, the clients, have all had something to do with making this program what it is today. We have a lot of personal experience. I myself, if you look at it, I've worked in the industry now for 20 years, I used for 17, so I have a total of 37 years in this scene, in the drug scene and alcohol scene. We specialise in helping people stay well. It's not just about getting drug-free, it's about staying drug-free. And I'm sure plenty of people that are watching this DVD have tried many times to stop. And they've probably succeeded in stopping, but staying stopped is what we're about. And getting well, enjoying life, being happy, joyous and free. As you can see from the shots around the property here, we're in an idyllic bush setting in Lurdy-Dur Gorge. We have no neighbours except wombats and kangaroos and now rabbits again. Final little thing is what I always say to individuals is our program is a we program. I believe that I can't do this, but we can.
Ice. Crystal methamphetamine. It's cheap, highly addictive and extraordinarily powerful. It is now more popular than heroin, playing havoc with the minds and the bodies of nearly 50,000 Australians.
You can smoke it, snort it and inject it, and when it takes hold, lives are destroyed. But you can return from the brink of oblivion. Richard Smith is a former addict turned lifesaver, and he joins us this morning to reveal the terrible truth of the new ice age. Good morning, Richard. Thanks for coming in.
Morning, Richard.
I don't know anything about ice. I've heard bits and pieces, but I just don't know what it is.
Well, quite simply, it's a central nervous system psychostimulant. So it just speeds you up. It's an amphetamine. We've had speed around for a long time. And crystal meth is just a purer form of amphetamine.
A stronger form?
A stronger form.
So it hits you faster than speed would hit you?
It certainly hits you. It hits you as quick as the amphetamine, but it's stronger and it lasts longer. And it's more intense. And so the side effects are more intense. It's like amplifying up your voice. Right.
Where does it come from?
Well, it's manufactured in labs. It's manufactured in laboratories like any drug is. And we've got a lot of them locally. I think you're looking at some footage here of some of the labs that have been busted in Victoria. But they have huge labs in Asia. They've just recently busted 31 tonnes in China. It was on its way here.
Oof.
You know, so we're talking huge sums.
Cheap?
Cheap. To buy a gram is about 350 to 450, but you only need to have 0.1 of that to last for 24 hours. So that's $35 for 24 hours of use.
So the effect will last for 24 hours?
When you first use it, yeah. And then what happens is, like any drug, you get a tolerance to it and you need more, and when you need more money, and so it looks attractive at the beginning at $35 for a night out. And I was talking to a young guy where I bought a jacket yesterday in Country Road, and he said, if you're not using ice, you're uncool. And that's what's happening in our culture, in our youth.
So it's that widespread?
Absolutely, absolutely. Just about every young person that I know has tried it.
Wow.
Has tried it.
And we mentioned in the intro there that you can snort it, you can inject it. It's easy to take.
It is. Most people will probably take it orally first. They'll have it with a drink at a club, or they'll
swallow it as well.
Yeah, swallow.
What do you have to? We saw the crystals there. Well, you just drop a crystal in, or do you
can just drop a crystal in a glass of water, or you can. They usually smoke it in like a crack pipe, and it has an incredibly intense effect.
So it's a stimulant. So it's just like a stronger form of speed in that they're awake and anxious and
can party all night, and they feel absolutely confident. You know, they're 6 foot tall and bulletproof. So people that have, you know, maybe low self-esteem would be attracted to it.
Okay, well, the laws of nature tell you that for every high there's got to be a low. So if the highs are that high, there must be some crashing.
Absolutely.
Lows.
I've been treating addicts for the last 20 years. And in the last 2 to 3 years, I've had my life threatened, I've seen extreme violence, and I'd never seen that the 17 years before.
Why is that happening? Is there a component in the drug that makes you... we used to hear about crack and the extraordinary sort of power that crack addicts had. Is there something like that in ice?
Exactly the same. It's not exactly the same, but it's very, very similar to crack. And the violence is, if somebody has a predisposition to be angry in dealing with their emotions, amplify that by tenfold. That's what you've got. You know, I've got a client in our program at the moment that's there for armed robbery, and the armed robbery was holding a knife to his mother's throat for a credit card. Man. And he wouldn't, you know, he loves his mother. Yeah. He would never do that.
Yeah.
You know, but the ice has made this guy such an angry man that, you know, it's bringing up maybe deep-seated anger for him, but it's extremely difficult for practitioners like me to deal with.
And also, I suppose too, if they end up in hospital, then what happens then? I mean, if they're found out of control, the police or an ambulance or something, ambulance officer finds them out of control in a club or something like that, they're obviously going to take them to hospital, and then the medical staff have to deal with this, don't they?
That's right. And look, what can happen too is they get psychotic episodes. So they end up in the mental health stream, and because as soon as they mention they take drugs, they go, well, we can't treat you. So it's hospital casualties, which are already overburdened, and, you know, it's a drain on the resources.